Hey, hey, I ain't folding under pressure, I ain't switching for no. I ain't talking to no cop and I ain't telling on my bros. Niggas itching on that, plotting on my come up, gotta watch they at my nose. Long nights I just to hit the studio. Now me and steak and shrimp.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Up next, Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions take on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. So with that, let's head over to the heart of Texas. Massive AT&T Stadium in Arlington. On the call, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We are sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas, in Arlington at the luxurious AT&T Stadium. A moment ago, here was the scene with the Cowboys emerging from their tunnel. It was loud. It's still loud. We're ready for football as the Cowboys get set to match up with the Detroit Lions. Hello again, everyone. I'm Brandon Godden, joined as always by Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at this Cowboy team entering play. The losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the Lions here, they got them.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
Free kick out of bounds, kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
They go play action here on first down. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete. He was looking to get it to Allen Hurns that time. And that'll bring up second down.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only the DB's going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A Dallas first down. Prescott hooking up with Beasley.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their efficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
On second down, Elliott. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He lost 4 there, and it's third down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that fence off balance.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Christian Jones coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, it took a sack on first and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
He'll get it up the middle, and that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And that is incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, But when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
So the next time we leave one of those coaches' meetings and we're walking out in the hall and you're like, how come we spend so much time talking about special teams?
Here you go. This is why.
This is why, right? And then look, I'm right there with you. We hear it every time we meet with coaches, but it is a big part of it. And look at how early in the game this occurs. They block a kick, and not only does it set a tone, it sends a message for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so much for our first points of the game. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Here's Stafford. This one complete to Theo Riddick. 15 yards through the air and a first down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
This is Cohen. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-4. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Sean Lee, the linebacker, able to get a hand in coverage.
They'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. Now Cohen. And a short gain down to about the 33. It's a pickup of 3, but it brings up what will be an interesting 4th and 1.
How about the fellas with the stars on the side of their helmets rising up on defense? We always hear about the Cowboys' rushing offense. Their rush defense is pretty good as well, I think, because they're so cohesive. Defensive line, linebackers really work well together.
These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 right at the 30. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he works his way forward for a couple up past the 30. The numbers for Zeke from last week. 21 carries, 57 yards, and a touchdown as well.
And they love what they've got in him. He's the number 4 rusher in the league right now, so you know that you have to account for him on defense, which means you can play complementary football as well. Throw the play action, get it out to the wide receivers, because they should have some open space, because the defense will key on it.
2nd down, Prescott, and that is incomplete. Jeff Swain, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd down.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. Forced out to his left. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. That's now 4 tackles for loss if you add the 3 he had last week to the 1 here in the first quarter.
And some of it comes from vision. And when you're playing defensive end, especially with those teams that want to take their D-ends and move them out a little bit wider so they can see into the offensive backfield, they can see things develop, able to make plays, then they use their athletic ability to take over and spill them.
To throw on second down is Stafford. And this is going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Stafford. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Jalen Smith. And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line. That interception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find a spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
Following the interception, here's Prescott. Throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets it, and this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. Jeff Swain, his first touchdown on the year, and the Cowboys have taken the early lead. Oh, such great concentration there, going. It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Getting set to go again, Matthew Stafford trots back onto the field. And he'll look to rebound from the early interception that led to 6 points the other way.
And when he threw the interception and he had to come to the sideline, I guarantee his first thought wasn't about the interception itself, but what could result. And I know he was thinking to himself, come on, defense, bail me out. Well, they weren't able to in this situation. Now he's got to go out and atone for it himself, but he can't force things.
The numbers for Tate in last week's game. Unfortunately, his effort not enough to help put him over the hump in that defeat.
And let's face it, this is a guy who absolutely hates to lose. When we talked with him, he wasn't talking about the plays he made, was he?
No.
So the plays he didn't make. That's absolutely the mark of a true pro.
Now a play fake it at Stafford. On the move to his left. Cross midfield. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. He's going to let this one go deep. And he has his receiver. That's Jones. Lions touchdown. Marvin Jones, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Lions are in for 6. Now Matt Prater for the point after. Extra point good by Prater. And the lead is now 10-7. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. The return comes from Orleans Darkwa. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at the 20. They start on the ground with Elliott. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. At the end of one, 10-7 our score. Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a 1st down. So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. A 1st down carry by Elliott. And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here.
Offside, defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Following the penalty, it's 1st and 5, and you got to think offensively, all kinds of options. After the penalty, it's Elliott. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. No gain there on 1st and 5, and it leaves him with a more standard 2nd down. Well, usually you don't think of the cornerback coming in for a no-gain play, but that's what we had there. Nice tackle.
Yeah, and how about the range, too? Coming from the outside part of the play, moving his way into the inside and making that play happen. No gain for the offense, big play for the defense.
He'll get 3 up to midfield.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the get him out in the flat and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
That he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and that'll make this a 2nd and 13. And I think he's a guy, if they had let him walk, no one was going to be shouting from the top of a mountain, but he's a good guy. He's a good locker room guy, too.
Good locker room and a good player. I mean, he's a valuable starter for them. And if you just want to start over and maybe bring in someone new, the learning curve might be a little bit big. So it's a good job by getting him taken care of, and now they can move forward.
And it looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves them with 7 yards to go on 3rd down.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led
for the Dallas 1st down. First down, Prescott. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Well, for that time as the drive continues.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
This is Elliott, and they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one,
rush coming, and he's taken down. They'll need a big play here, will Dak and the Cowboys. After the sack, it's 3rd and long. Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. He's going to go up top for the end zone. Detroit was up for the challenge through the air. They force a 4th down.
not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And his kick is good. And that will knot us up at 10. So this time the protection holds up for him just fine, and he's able to bang it through.
I think their special teams coach got the point across. He gave him a pretty good earful after the block earlier. And this time, there's no penetration, so they're able to pick up 3.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. They may want to go back to that one. First play of the drive, good for 15 and a first down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
And credit the tackle to Taco Charlton with a stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Slide it. Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. And it's picked up by the Cowboys. And his crew will take over with the football at the 35-yard line. He tried to buy some time to the right. So, Charles, when a guy gets out of the pocket, what's the focus of the quarterback?
Most of them keep their eyes downfield. They want to try and make a play throwing the ball. But some of them, they want to tuck it and go. But when they scramble, in this case, as you said, to the right, you're cutting the field in half. So good defenses kind of converge in that spot, and they don't give you much territory to throw the ball. He had nowhere to go with it. Ends up getting the ball stripped.
The rush defense stout on first down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Again to Elliott. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
He finds Hearns left side. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 75 yards receiving for him now. It's a first down. 2 minutes minutes to play in a tightly contested first half. We'll remind you once again, coming up at halftime, we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He's got stats and scores from around the NFL as we wrap up the first month of the season.
No longer is he a rookie, the coach, a true veteran now.
A crafty veteran. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time. Having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. Ezekiel Ansah in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
3rd and long for Prescott. And this one is incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted one time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
And his kick is right there. It's good. And they will take the lead at 13-10. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit for the field goal.
Solid return. Pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over. Meanwhile,
they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Back to the air. Stafford on 2nd down. He's got his man. This is Tate. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
Ready to go again here on offense as he shuffles onto the field. First month of the season, those numbers pretty solid. Does he continue that?
I think so, because when you come out of the gate this strong, that means that you have planned for it and you like the results that you're getting. So I wouldn't have any doubt that the head coach, offensive coordinator, actually called him in and said, look, you're our guy, okay? We're going to continue to stick with this as long as we're winning games. You ready for the challenge? And then they presented it to the rest of the team. I think we'll see plenty of that as the season moves on.
I'm sure he said challenge accepted. And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Prescott on first down. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. That's 30 yards now in the last two plays. Back-to-back 15-yarders, and they're rolling.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Tavon Wilson. And he's giving his guys a shot for late points as they will take over in range for a field goal or maybe more. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may force them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again. Stafford into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Sean Lee. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Likely time for final snap as they start out 1st and 10. They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. All right, folks, eager to get back to this Week 4 matchup. We won't put up a fight. So we have come to halftime here in Dallas with the Cowboys out in front. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
As that ball got away from him, we saw the opposing team recovering.
He felt his pain.
I felt his pain.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
Stafford and the Lions now have it 1st and 10 at their own 23. From the gun, here's Stafford, eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to let it go deep right sideline. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at 2nd down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes his quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. The Lions on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 4.
And middle.
From the gun, Stafford steps away to his left. Now he'll throw deep left side. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Yeah, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. They'll try and get the running game going with Elliott. And they're able to get this one across the 35. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. Now a play fake here on first down. Rolling to his left. Room here to run. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
The give is to Elliott. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He was brought down by Devon Kennard.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll try to throw now. Prescott. And that is incomplete. He was looking for Terrence Williams that time. And it's 3rd and 5. Boy, the numbers throwing the football just not trending in the right direction. Last week he was under 50%. He's under 50% again here.
And we haven't gotten an announcement, but it appears to me that he might be a little dinged up and is just trying to play through. You know, he's one of those tough guys that wants to answer the bell each and every play for his team. That might be throwing off his accuracy.
And that one good for 16 yards and a first.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
Now a carry here for Orleans Darkwa. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. A'Shawn Robinson there on the stop. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. Because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense gets a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Here's Prescott, and he's got more time, complete. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
Now Prescott. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Devon Kennard in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So 1st down went in the wrong direction. They're at the 13-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Prescott on 3rd and goal. Drops it underneath to Elliott. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. A 4-yard pickup, not enough. 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it. What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play-action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
21.
On 2nd down, here's Stafford. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Jeff Heath, the strong safety, able to get in there on the coverage. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his 2nd of the game. Instead, 4th down.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Dallas gets set to take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe. Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
Yeah, and this will be recovered at least by the offense, but he'll be taken down in the end zone, and that is going to be a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
So here come the Lions now, and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs, and that's what they need in order to not pump the ball again.
This is the newest member of the Lion backfield, LeGarrette Blount. Space to maneuver at the 40 as he'll get this one up to the 44-yard line.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now blown. It's a loss of 4. Now third down.
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult third down call now.
The Lions on third down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This is third down and 12. Operating from the gun. Stafford flushed out right. Looking downfield for Jones. And a shot taken on third down, unsuccessful. Fourth down now.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And now here come the Cowboys. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. Well, they don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a...
And can you believe it? It's a second safety in this ball game. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt, and if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
That defensive front four has been very good. They've just not let the running game get going, have they?
Not at all. In fact, the entire offense just looking a little bit out of sync in this one.
Yeah, sometimes this is why coaches like forward down defensive linemen, they feel like they can cover more ground when defending the run.
Stafford dancing to his left. Now he's going to let it go deep left side. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out. Back now in Arlington. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Here's Stafford. Flush to his right. He may try and run for this. Decent gain on the scramble to 6, but now it's 4th. Here's Sam Martin now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. We'll call that a 43-yard punt, 2 on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get. It's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But, boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points. But Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bring up a key third down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key third down. Highlight that word, put it in bold. Here we go. Now a shot taken on third down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. And the trick play doesn't work. Good reaction there defensively, and it'll be fourth down. And Detroit getting set to go now. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shot of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory. And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Airing one deep for Riddick. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's third.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. Now he's going to throw it back deep over the middle. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down. They have not gotten him going at all. Tried to spark something there with a longer throw, unable to complete it.
But you have to keep trying. He's one of their best playmakers. No matter what it says on the scoreboard, you're always trying to get into football.
Call that a 45-yard punt, just 2 yards there on the return. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. So the Lions offense ready to go back out onto the field. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
And he'll be corralled right around the 34. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
Here's Bull. He'll get about 4 as he's past the 35 to the 38-yard line.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Again, here's Bull. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, This intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Oh, partner, that play brought back memories. Watching them string it out, letting the runner get all the way to the sideline area, but not letting him get out of bounds. They formed that picket fence and didn't allow him through.
Not only that, got him for a loss as well here. And one of the reasons they lead in the fourth quarter, plays like that.
Yeah, it took a little more time off the clock, making him do it that way, didn't it?
He went backwards 7 yards, setting up a tough third down. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long.
Hey, middle. Hey, tag 50 left. Set. Waiting. Here we go.
Out of the gun, Stafford fighting through pressure. Oh, now he'll try and chuck it deep left side. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to with you and your brothers. Just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though. Now they go for it on 4th down, but that pass is knocked away and incomplete. Well, they've got the slim deficit, decided to go for it, hoping to keep the football score and erase that deficit. But, boy, deep in their own territory like that.
Let's just say that with that call, me and the head coach will agree to disagree. All right? But he knew he wanted to be aggressive there, as you pointed out. So I guarantee he told his defensive coordinator, have your guys up and ready. I'm going to go for it here. If we don't get it, just make sure they're ready to go out there and bail us out.
Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
There we go. 26. 26.
They'll run with Elliott. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
A second down throw for Prescott. Hearns brings it in. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. 90 yards receiving now for him in the ball game. It's a first down. It's 1st and goal and a late touchdown at this stage. Could officially salt this one away. Time for a break. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and goal as they search for what could be a game-sealing touchdown. Now Elliott. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing what one decision can do in the chain of events, right? The decision to go for it on 4th down.
Caused all of that.
It caused every bit of it, but it showed confidence. Hey, I've got confidence in you guys. Go pick it up for them. Didn't happen. Also showed confidence in the defense. They didn't pick up their end of the bargain, so now they've got to come back out and start over and rebuild that confidence. He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Back to throw. Stafford being chased out left. It's brought in left side by Tate. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49.
Hey, tag 32! Tag 32! Hey, go here! Set! 250!
Stafford. And almost intercepted. It would have been his second pick of the game. Instead, it'll be second down. I guess they're in a situation now, fourth quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted. And if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10. Now Stafford. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. David Irving in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this third and long play, as we'll get a timeout, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a third and long situation. Now it's Stafford. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a fourth down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Desperation time for Stafford on fourth down. Buying time to his left. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And that'll be just about all she wrote for this one. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
The D can only stop it one more time as they take the knee. Forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it's going to be third down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Charles, I